Hey, it's Jacqueline here with your 2024 Northumberland County Market Update. That's right, no Monday market update for you today. What we're going to focus on is talking a little bit about what happened in the Northumberland real estate market last year. So hold tight, stick with me, and I'm going to do a deep dive into all of the data and fun and wonderful things that happen in Northumberland County real estate. So to get started, I'm actually going to borrow a fairly famous quote from a Mr. Sir Isaac Newton when he once said, "What goes up must come down." And although, as we all know, he was referring to the principles of gravity, I do very much feel the same sentiment could be felt when it comes to Northumberland County real estate. As we all know, we saw an unprecedented amount of growth in Northumberland County over the pandemic period of 2020 to 2022, with the average sale price increasing by anywhere from 40 to 60% in a single calendar year. Then came 2023, and with the increase in the interest rates, the decrease in the market. And we saw in a single calendar year, the market go down 10%. Again, not too bad when you think how high that market went up during that pandemic period, but a painful year for sellers as well as, frankly, real estate agents that were in the position of trying to sell those homes as well. So 2024 started with a lot of anticipation. I don't think anybody's ever watched the Bank of Canada and paid attention to their interest rate announcements so closely as those in the mortgage and real estate industry over the past 12 months. And we started to finally see some of that relief come in June. The interesting thing is that our average sale price for the second quarter did start to really see some rebound in coming back. We actually saw the average home in Northumberland County throughout our classic spring market of the second quarter of the year sell for around $750,000 to $760,000, which is actually a pretty good number considering we ended 2023 sitting around $630,000. So again, started to see some life come back into the market. Then at the beginning of June, the Bank of Canada finally heeded the call and decreased the interest rates by 0.5 point. However, it wasn't really the surge in the market I think most people were anticipating, as home sellers all rushed the market thinking that the buyers were going to now come back as a result of that decrease. What ended up happening as a result of the decrease is we saw an 80% increase in the number of homes listed in 30 days in Northumberland County. Now think about that. That is a crazy number of new listings to hit the market in a single month. So again, as many buyers were sitting on the sidelines waiting for those decreases, there was even more homeowners sitting on the sidelines waiting for that. As a result of that, in the third quarter, we actually saw a pretty big dip in the market, and the average sale price came down by roughly 9% in a period of 3 months. And again, huge surge of inventory. The buyers were still sitting on that fence line, which then meant it put pressure on the average sale price. Then we get into the last quarter of last year, and we again started to finally see what I would say is some legitimate decreases in those interest rates, where in October and December, they both came down about half a percentage, and we ended 2024 coming down a total of 1.75% in terms of the interest rates. Then we finally started to see that relief. And in November of last year, we actually saw a pretty big uptake in the market. We were seeing a lot more homes sell and close in Northumberland than we have previously seen. So again, a sign those buyers were starting to get back out there and buy. So the overall good news story is we actually ended up ending the year at an average sale price of about $718,000, which was a decrease from 2023 by roughly 1.2%. But again, when we think about how high we went up, how high or how low we came down, being around a 1% decrease is a pretty flat market. And again, to me, shows signs that we're finally rebounding, which is something I know many of us have been waiting for. Overall, we saw a total of 1,411 homes sell in Northumberland last year, which was actually an increase by about 13.9%. Again, a really important positive number to focus on is even though our sale prices haven't really surged the way I think many homeowners would like to see them come back up, that does show us there's a lot of consumer confidence back in the market and people are coming back out there and starting to home shop, sell, move up, move down again. So a very positive news story on the number of homes sell we saw last year. From an inventory perspective, we are still sitting at very high levels of inventory in Northumberland. We saw a total of 3,078 new listings hit the market, which was an increase by about 8.4% from 2023. And again, do keep in mind that in 2023, the number of new listings hitting the market was also up. So again, we're sitting there with a lot of inventory, a lot of people trying to sell their homes, which brings me to one of the most important numbers we don't talk enough about in the industry, and that is the list to sale ratio. Last year, we ended the year with a total of 46% of homes selling that were listed. So, again, one thing to consider is for every house that's listed, less than half of those actually sold last year. Again, a really good number to look at when we talk about what we all want to get into is what are we forecasting for 2025? So the good news is the market actually has started off fairly strong this year. We're seeing a very significant increase in the number of showings and viewings from our online activity that we monitor. We're also seeing those first-time buyers finally come off that fence and start getting out there and buying again. And again, in real estate, the first-time buyers are really what drives that market. They come off the fence, they start buying. That allows what we call our move-up buyers. So again, young families looking to get into a larger family home, they can then afford to move up. Our seniors then can afford to sell those, and et cetera, et cetera. So our first-time buyers are a very important factor in our marketplace. So that's a very good news story. That being said, you know me, I'm always a cautious kitten. And to talk about that data again, when we look back last year, less than half of homes sold. And again, in 2023, it was the same. So we've got a lot of people still sitting on the sidelines looking to get their home sold that haven't been successfully able to do so in the last 2 years. In addition to that, there's all of the people that didn't actually end up going to market who've been waiting to start to see a rebound in a marketplace come as well. So I'm very much anticipating, you can call me out on this after the fact, that we are going to see the same phenomenon that we saw last year. Buyers are going to come out of the woodwork, but sellers are going to come out of the woodwork twice as much, and we are going to see a surge at some point in the market when it comes to the number of homes on the market itself. When that's going to happen, I like to think that I have a pretty good idea of when, but I'm not going to tell you because that is private information from my homeowners and clients to be able to obtain. So if you want information on that, you're going to have to call me for when that perfect time to list your home might be in this calendar year. Overall, I don't think we're going to see a significant increase in the average sale price. I think we're going to be fortunate if we can end the year at around roughly 5%. Again, time will tell what happens there. We do also have a few disruptors in the marketplace that we're keeping a close eye on. As we all know, there was an election with our friends to the south, and we have a new president that's going to be serving them in about a week's time from now, and tariff wars. So that obviously is going to be what we call a disruptor, depending on what the outcome of that issue is in terms of the overall economic impact on our country and therefore our real estate market. If you have any specific questions on how all of this information impacts the value of your home, whether you're looking to sell or you're just curious and interested to know how your investments are performing, please do reach out to me anytime. As everybody knows, I love to talk about all things real estate, but particularly if you're a data nerd like me, I've always got time to have a phone call or a meeting with you to talk about all things Northumberland County real estate.